I recently got the chance to fly premium economy again and realized that there were some things that I actually like better about sitting here compared to business class. And there are some people that I think might be better off booking economy instead of these seats. I'm going to give you all the details in today's video. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And it took me until about 4 years ago to really realize the benefits of sticking with one airline to gather as many miles and status points as possible to increase your travel experience. Gone are the days of either flying in economy or first class. Nowadays, airlines offer a huge array of confusing travel class names like economy, economy light, economy delight, premium, premium select, business class, upper class, business basic plus, Delta One, La Premiere. I mean, I'm a big fan of having options, but like, what? So I recently flew from Portland, Oregon in the USA back home to here in Hamburg, Germany with a transfer in Seattle. And on the way to Seattle, I got to experience what Delta calls Comfort Plus. The Delta website describes this as, in addition to the benefits of a main cabin ticket, you will also have extra legroom, earlier boarding and deplaning, and dedicated overhead bin space just for your items. So basically what this is an economy seat at the front of the back of the plane with a different headrest, more legroom, and an overhead bin. I personally would not pay more money for just this, but it was included with our fare for premium economy, so why not? Side note, the Seattle airport was in rough shape. The seats were all torn up, there was trash all over the floor, and it felt dirty. I wanted to take a shower and hand sanitizer when we finally left. What's going on, Seattle? Are you okay? But cool bridge. All right, now let's talk about the premium economy, this class between the back of the plane and the front of the plane. The short list of the perks is priority access, more bags, an exclusive cabin, better food, and bigger seats. And I'm gonna break all of this down now and show it to you as well. You can see here, our cabin was set up differently than economy with a 2-3-2 layout, giving you more space, and there were only 28 seats in the entire cabin, so it does have a much more exclusive feeling. So just like when you have Comfort Plus on a short flight, when you have Premium Select, which is what this is called on the Delta website, and on the KLM website, it's called Premium Comfort, but they're both the same thing. You not only get an earlier boarding group when you enter the plane, but even before that, when you get to the airport, you also have Sky Priority Access, which means you get a quicker bag drop and check-in, and sometimes at some airports also a quicker line through security. And if you look at the entire experience as a whole, which is what I'm trying to encourage you to do, then of course these things also add a value. They do improve your travel experience. If it means that from getting to the airport, you get through the airport and into your seat quicker, to me, that's a bonus. And since there are fewer passengers, that also means it can be easier to get some space in the overhead bin. However, passengers traveling in this class also get a larger baggage allowance. So included in the price are 2 checked-in bags and 2 carry-on bags, and that can lead to these dedicated overhead bins kind of getting full anyways. Of course, one of the other major differences you will notice right away are the seats. Not only are they larger and much further apart, giving you considerably more legroom. Take a look at this to get an idea of just how much legroom it is, and I know this is a little bit misleading because I have really short legs. I'm only 5'5", but as another reference, this dude was easily 6'5", and he was sitting right across from us, and his knees were nowhere close to touching the seat in front of him. So if you want leg room, you got it. And speaking of legs, there's also a leg rest. You have to press the button to get it to stick out, and then you fold this flap down, and it's kind of clunky and chunky, and honestly, I don't need this. I would rather have something that folded out from the seat in front of me so that I could stick my legs like out, instead of just having something that lifts my feet up off the floor. Know what I mean? There are also dedicated buttons for the recline function, and the seats do go back much further than economy, that's for sure. But for me, that angle doesn't necessarily make it any easier to sleep. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I had no problem sleeping on planes. I would lean on the seat in front of me or like lean against the wall, and I could like really get a couple hours of sleep. But now that I'm in my late 30s, I can't do it anymore. And this reclined position with my feet lifted up a little bit is somehow not necessarily any more comfortable for me than in economy. So it doesn't help me sleep more like the lay down flat beds do in business class. I guess what I'm trying to say is I appreciate that it goes back further, but it just doesn't help me sleep. We're still going to talk about the food, the service, how dirty parts of this seat was, and the reasons why I prefer these seats over business class and why I think some people are better in economy. But first, a word from our sponsor, which is my new book, Places, Please. This book is a journey of self-discovery, passion, and identity, and it's also a travel guide to many major cities around the world. It's a hilarious and heartfelt account that follows my unconventional path from cardboard scenery in my grade school library to Broadway auditions, surviving a stalker in a Chicago parking lot, and even joining a circus in Uruguay. If you like to read, if you like to travel, if you're into theater, and if you want to give me a little bit of extra support, check out Places, Please. It's available on Amazon now. And if you've already got your copy, please go leave a review on Amazon. Now back to the plane. The seats also include these little amenity bags with the usual eye mask, earplugs, lip gloss, and hand lotion inside. And not only do you get to keep the goodies, but you also get to keep the bag too. So these are little things that not only make the travel experience better, but they also continue improving your life when the trip is over.
Lip gloss.
The headphones are these same headphones that I think you get in business class. They cover your whole ear, so they're way better than the economy headphones. And these you're not supposed to take with you. And I didn't know that. And now I have them, and I'm embarrassed to take them back with me onto a plane because then everybody will know I stole them. Your entertainment center is definitely much bigger than in economy, and I appreciate that it's further away from my face because I don't know about you, I find it really hard to focus my eyes on something that's like this close to me for 4 or 5 hours at a time. The blankets and pillows are also a somewhat higher quality and thicker fabric, but not quite the same as what you get when you fly business class in the front of the plane. The seats on this plane also had some extra storage that I hadn't experienced in other premium economy flights. Like in between, we each had a water bottle, and it was also possible to reach through and poke the person next to you. Surprise! Under one armrest is the table that pops up, folds out, and then pushes forward, and it seems a little bit bigger than in economy, which is great if you want to get some work done, and it's also just a little bit more comfortable when the food is served, which we are getting to, don't worry. Under the center armrest was more storage, and I just have to ask you guys, look how dirty this was. There was no way I was going to put my phone or anything else into this little cubby area because it still had trash from the last person in it, and the creases of my table were also full of gunk, and the seat back pocket also had trash from someone else. Am I just being too picky, or when you're paying like $1,200 for a seat on an airplane, shouldn't it be nicer than this? I bet there are tables in the Times Square Taco Bell that are more thoroughly wiped down than the surfaces of this seat were. Okay, before we get to the food, let me tell you my perhaps controversial opinions of these seats compared to the other classes on the plane. First of all, if you are an especially long person, then of course you're going to enjoy sitting here because you'd have to be really tall to max out the space between the seats. If you are, however, an especially wide person, I'm not sure if you might be better off sitting in economy, and I'll tell you why. These seats in premium are like a solid box. You can't lift up the armrests, and there is no space under the armrests for a little bit to sort of slide out to the left and the right. So depending on how bootylicious you are, it might be more comfortable to sit in economy and hope that you have an empty seat next to you, or at least be sitting next to somebody you know, because you can lift up the armrest and that just gives a little bit more space sideways. I do not fit these descriptions, so obviously I'm just speculating, but when I consider it, that seems to make sense to me. And if you do have experience in this situation, please hit those comments and let me know what you think is better. Okay, now here's something I like better about these seats compared to business class, and that is, in business class, if you're traveling with somebody, you're not really sitting next to them. If you want to have a conversation with them, either one person has to stand up or you both have to lean way forward and look around this divider. The seats offer a lot of privacy, which is one of the reasons that a lot of people want to travel in this class, but I enjoy having conversations when I'm traveling and discussing the movies and maybe playing a game together on the entertainment system. And in business class, that's almost not possible. So for the social aspect, if you're traveling with somebody, then the seats in premium economy are way better for having conversations and sort of hanging out along the way. All right, who wants to see the food? The dining and service aspects of flying in premium economy are a noticeable different perk than flying in standard economy. Not only is there a higher crew to passenger ratio, which allows them to be much more attentive, and I have experienced it where they remember everybody's names and then they're coming to the seat and asking, "Would you like another glass of wine, Mr. O'Brien?" But there are also smaller details that just increase the travel experience, and I'm talking about things like real glass, real silverware, real plates. You still get a hot towel, which is something that used to be standard on long-haul flights, and I don't think most airlines do it in economy anymore at all. There's a small tablecloth for your fold-out table, which I was of course really grateful for this time because that table was nasty. The snacks are also a different brand than the normal peanuts and pretzels available in economy, and all the drinks are included, which means a nice array of wine, spirits, and soft drinks. And of course, the taste and the presentation is elevated as well. Food is something that is very subjective, but in my opinion, it's always much nicer than what you get in standard economy. There's a paper menu listing the options. The food comes in real dishes and has already been uncovered, so you don't have to pick up those hot, sticky tinfoil things and try to tear them off without them ripping and getting your fingers all greasy. And in general, I would say the food quality is restaurant level compared to the back of the plane, which is more or less like frozen dinners. We even got a full breakfast, so this is Marcus's French toast with sausage and warm berries and a yogurt parfait, and I mean, way nicer than standard economy, right? But my food experiences in business class, and especially in business class on AirFrance, were even better than this, with higher quality ingredients and a much more refined presentation for sure. We landed in Hamburg on time, and another perk of traveling in this class is you are some of the first people out of the plane. This of course can be a huge benefit if you have a tight connection in one of the huge airports over here like Frankfurt or Amsterdam, but also if you just want to get home, it's nice to be out of the plane right away. And I have to tell you, now that I'm getting to a certain age, my late 30s, one thing I'm finding it harder and harder to find the patience for is the amount of time that some people need to stand up, gather their things, put on their coat, and get out of the motherfucking plane. I know I sound like a grumpy old man, but come on, people. If you are an able-bodied person, it shouldn't take you like 3 minutes to gather your things and go. It took me a while to sort of warm up to it, but now I really enjoy flying in premium economy, and not only for the experience on board, but also for all the miles and the status points you get. So what do you think? I definitely will be flying in premium economy again for the right price, just because I really want to get that gold status for next year, and it's kind of tricky now because there are some really competitive economy prices at the moment, which makes it a little tricky. I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to fly someplace just to get the miles, so I have to get the miles with the flights that I want to take. Thank you so much for watching. Check out Places Please on Amazon. In this week's Sunday Sofa Time, I'm actually going to talk about a story in here where I got Montezuma's revenge in Mexico. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up before you go, and I look forward to seeing you back here soon. Bye-bye.